Hi there and welcome to this video. Today I am making a mansion build for my Not So Berry Challenge Generation 1, which is the generation I'm currently on. If you don't know anything about this challenge, I can tell you that the first generation is the mint generation. Every single generation has a color that they're sort of based on or that they have to stick to. And so this first generation is the mint gen. And so I'm starting off here. I'm building this mansion. This took me, I think, 6 hours around there to make. And I recorded almost all of it. So you can tell I really had to cut out some stuff, but I also had to speed this up a lot. Anyways, I really wanted this mansion to be very modern because I feel like that's sort of the aesthetic that I've given to my Mint Gen matriarch. Her name is Penny, and I feel like she has like a very modern vibe. But the thing is, I really don't love that sort of very square, modern building look. I feel like a lot of big modern mansions, if you look that up on Pinterest, you're going to see a lot of very, very square houses. And that's just not my thing. So I really tried to to put in some curves and some we see these curvy arches I put in and even some curvy walls. So I really tried to lean away a bit from that very, very square look. It's still there and it still feels like a modern build, but it's to an extent that I can actually still look at it and feel like I did a good job. Also, I feel like I just need to mention this is the first ever speed build I have made for this channel. And that means this is also the first ever voiceover I've done for one of these videos. So you'll just have to bear with me a little bit. I'm still quite new to this and I am trying my best. Also, as of me recording this voiceover, it has been, let me check, 2 hours. Actually 2.5 hours at this point since the newest Sims pack just dropped. What's it called? I keep forgetting. It's a new expansion pack, and I think it's called Royalty and Legacies or something like that. It's something like that. I keep forgetting the actual name though, so that might not be quite it. Anyway, I'm really excited to play with this pack actually. I try so hard not to buy the newest packs because it's so much money for a game that just doesn't work the way it should. But it was like my dream pack. I had to. I'm sorry. So I'm so excited. Once I'm done making this voiceover, I'm going to go straight into my game and start playing around with the new pack. And I'm so excited for it. I kind of have this idea actually for a build that I want to make. So I think maybe that'll be the next speed build you see on this channel. So you'll have to look out for that. Now I'm getting into painting the house and all, and I start out with making it very minty, and then as you see it go on, it just becomes more and more beige. There's still some like mint accents, but I have to be honest, it's not the main color of this house, but it is like the color you'll see also in the interior. Like that's other than the beige, that's the accent color. So I feel like I did good enough for someone who really doesn't like the color mint that much. Now I will be talking some more about the build and what I'm actually doing, but I also want to just talk about like some stuff that's going on in my life and stuff like that. So currently actually my desk, which is where I'm sitting right now, it's a mess. It's an absolute mess, more than usual, which usually it is a mess, but right now it's even more so because I am right in the midst of a painting and I've been painting at my desk, even though like I have another table that I could be using, but yeah, that one's also a mess. So I went for this one. I'm currently making this painting that I'm actually really happy with how it's turning out. I visited a friend of mine recently and she also paints and draws and all this kind of creative stuff. She's very creative, and she gifted me some paints because she doesn't use them herself. It wasn't like the quality she liked, and I saw them and I was like, oh my god, I love those paints. And she said, do you want them? And I said yes. They're these glittery watercolors, like shimmery, and they're so pretty, and I just got so inspired the moment I got my hands on them. I was like, I have to come up with something to paint with these. So I'm painting a unicorn, which I haven't done since I was like a child. So that's actually really exciting, and I'm really liking how it's turning out. For the longest time though with this painting, I was like, oh my god, it's turning out like a child's painting. Like, not only because of obviously the motif being a unicorn, but also because the colors. I tried to go quite bright actually with the colors, but that really easily turns into it looking like, you know, a child took some crayons in just the most vibrant colors they could find and put them on the page. So I was really worried for a second there, but it is turning out really, really nice. I'm very happy about it. But I've been layering over some shadows and stuff, and I think it's turning out really nicely, actually. And I'm so excited. I haven't done anything with the shimmery paint yet at all. It's all been just like my usual watercolors. So I'm really excited because I'm just painting like the unicorn and some of like the lights around. Making those with the shimmery paints. I feel like it's gonna look so magical, and I'm so excited. So I hope that turns out well. Anyway, we've now gotten to the back of the house, and I've made these, you see that like part of the house that's like curved all the way around, but also has this little indent for the windows. Yeah, I had a lot of trouble with that because I mean, from the outside, I think it looks pretty cool, but from the inside, the walls, it was so difficult to figure out what to do with those like weird curved nooks. But I do like what I ended up with in the end. Anyway, I'm also making this pool. This took me so long to figure out how I wanted this pool to look. Again, another thing I do like how it ended up, just like this actually. I don't think I changed it anymore after this, but yeah, that took me a while. And I'm also putting a bunch of like eco lifestyle items in here because I mean, currently they're living in Evergreen Harbor, and I felt like they would like to have their house be quite like eco-friendly, which I say that and then immediately I'm gonna go in and put in some chimneys, and I put multiple fireplaces in this house, but I don't want the neighborhood to become like hard to breathe in, so went for some wind turbines and solar panels as well. I also tried to play around with the color of the pool being sort of mint colored. This color from, I think it's Jungle Adventure, I think. If it's not Jungle Adventure, then it's Get Together. And I really, really wanted it to be this color because, I mean, it's literally mint colored, but it just looked a bit muddy, like not muddy. I don't know if I thought it looked like it would be safe to swim in, so I ended up just going with the normal pool color. Then I go around and landscape this lot, but actually most of it, other than like the placement of the trees, I don't show because I don't know. I had to pause here in a second, like go and do something else, and then I came back and I was like, oh, I'll just place in some rocks, and I don't know, I think I entered the flow state and I just started placing so many things and doing the paths and everything, and forgot to record. So luckily, I mean, that kind of made it easier for me to be like, oh, I guess I won't have to cut that out. So yeah, I'm actually really excited right now because tomorrow I'm going to go visit my parents, and I'm going to be sewing some pants with my mum, and I'm so excited about it. I've been really wanting to get into like making my own clothing, and I mean, I have the perfect mum to teach me that. She sews all the time, so we've made some patterns, and then tomorrow I'm going to go over and I'm going to make some pants for myself, and I'm really, really excited. We picked out a bunch of fabrics. She makes clothing usually for children, but out of recycled materials or recycled fabrics, so like duvet covers and curtains and just all kinds of different fabrics. And so I got to pick out a bunch of those and see what I like, and hopefully picked some ones that there might be enough fabric of to make a pair of pants for me, and I'm really, really excited about it. So that's what I'll be doing tomorrow, and then I'm going to sleep over at my parents' house because then the day after that my grandma is hosting her birthday party, so that's so fun, and I can't wait to, celebrate my grandma and also like see a bunch of family members that I haven't seen in a while. So very much looking forward to that. All right, so we're currently in what's going to be Rose's teenage bedroom. Rose being the daughter of Penny, my current sim, my mint-gen sim. So Rose is the rose-colored sim, and this is her bedroom. As you could see, I placed in a room from the gallery. It's a room that I had made I think a few weeks ago or something. I really wanted to play around, and I couldn't wait to build this house. And so I made this bedroom and just had to configure some stuff around because obviously the size of the room wasn't the exact same. So I just moved some things around and ended up with this really, really lovely room that I'm really happy about. There's a lot of pink and not as much of like that rosy red. That's her actual color, but I just feel like mint and red doesn't go together that well, but mint and pink is really, really pretty. So I'm quite happy with how this turned out. And then I'm doing this trick that I think it was Deligracy. It was some YouTuber, and I think it might have been her, who mentioned this like little tip that I do all the time, but in case you haven't thought about this before, getting your curtains to fit in the Sims the way you want them to isn't always that easy. So if you're struggling with that, you'd basically just take the windows away from where they are, then place the curtains where you want them, and then place the windows back. So that's what I did with her bedroom over there, because they weren't placing exactly how I wanted them to. And then I'm going in and I'm making her bathroom, which is, I think, actually ends up being like my favorite bathroom in this entire house. I think it's so cute. And it's like quite unique, I think, because a lot of the time with bathrooms, I know a lot of YouTubers, like, they just cut out the creation of the bathroom entirely because it's a lot of the same, you know? But this one I decided to leave in. I leave in a few of the bathrooms, and this is one of them because I feel like it turned out really, really nicely and quite, like, obviously not that unique because, it's still just a bathroom, but I do like how it turned out, with still that, like, mint and rosy colored aesthetic all over the place. And then as soon as I'm done with the bathroom, I move on into the master bedroom, or the room where Penny and her wife will be staying, which is happening in any second now, because we're just, hanging this up, and then on we go to the master bedroom. Now, I will say, in between the time of the last clip and this clip, it's been about a millisecond for you, but for me, it's been a few days. That's just how I work. So that means that all these things that I talked about in the beginning of the video, like going to my grandma's place and my parents' place and all these things, they've been completed. So it's kind of like, you know how if you use TikTok, you'll know how people make these videos and then they make them into part 2. Even when they don't need to, which is really annoying. But then sometimes, they need to because it's a project that takes multiple days. Well, I'm making this a one part. So you're getting an update on everything I've already talked about. Because, well, now I've done it. So I'm just going to tell you about that. And then I will also be talking about, now that we're moving into the master bedroom, I promise I will talk a bit about that because I actually do quite like how that bedroom turned out. Anyway, I went to my grandma's place to celebrate her birthday. She turned, oh God, let me think, 81? 81, yes. Which is amazing. And we had such a lovely day, me and my family. It was really, really nice. And then afterwards, instead of just going home, I went home with my parents. And before I tell you any more about that, I will just talk a little bit about this bedroom, because I did have a thought. I feel like, I don't know if this is really that minty, because in my head, the color mint is like quite a bright color, and this is much more muted. In fact, I would call this a sage green, which is not mint. But I felt like I really wanted like a calming environment for them to, sleep in. So, and that is not the color mint to me. So I did fully go with sage green, which is the color that my bedroom is. So yeah, recently I heard someone talking about how you know how people call gray like millennial gray, because a lot of like millennials, like once they got their houses and stuff, they like turned everything they touched gray, right? It removed all the colors from everything, and everything was just gray. I've heard people refer to sage green as Gen Z's millennial gray, which hurt a little bit because, as said, my entire bedroom is sage green. So I can't even, like, I can't say anything about it. But, I mean, in my opinion, it's better than having our color be gray. So, you know, I'm not gonna complain. Anyway, so that's that. So this bedroom, it's a bit more sage and like a calming color than like a bright mint green. I hope you will forgive me for that. I really do like how it turned out. So I forgive myself at least. Anyway, I went to my parents' place after this wonderful, wonderful birthday party of my grandma's, where I saw like almost my entire family on that side, or like the immediate family. The only one missing was my aunt, who lives in Italy, so that was a bit difficult to. She doesn't come that often to things unless it's like around Christmas time. She usually comes back. But I will be seeing her actually this year because I'm going to Italy for the first time, which I'm really, really looking forward to. Anyway, me and my mum, we made some pants. As I think, I talked about earlier in this video that was a plan of ours. So, I'm really proud of what I did actually, because this is the first time I've like made clothing for myself. I've sewn a little bit before because my mum, she does make clothing, as I think I mentioned this earlier, like clothing for kids. And so when I was a kid, I had previously, I think I've sewn like a dress or two, but never anything for myself, and never something other than this like very classic pattern that my mum does a lot. She has like a signature dress kind of thing. It's very simple and very nice. That she makes, and so I've made that before. So I have used a sewing machine before, which is very nice, because that made it a lot less stressful for me. But now I made a pair of pants. Also, I will just say, because we are moving into this part of the room where we have these really awkward, like, looking, like, corners of the room with the curved walls and everything. I struggled a lot with this, as you can see. Like, it took me a while to figure out what to put here. I end up doing like a little fitness like area. I put a yoga mat there because I was like waking up in the morning and then doing some yoga. That feels like a thing that both Penny and Freya, her wife, would be into doing. So I do like how that turned out, but it was a struggle to figure out what to put in this place. Anyhow, me and my mom made these pants, and they're like very, very light. Like the fabric itself, very light, and quite see-through. I will have to wear something underneath, but they're like the perfect summer pants, and I'm really, really happy with it. So I plan on, when I'm going to Italy, as mentioned before, I can't have that much stuff, right? Because it needs to all fit in a suitcase. So having a lot of very light clothing is actually perfect, because then I can fit more stuff in there. So these pants are definitely going with me to Italy. And now we're not going to Italy, but we are going downstairs because we are moving on to the bar room, or like, I guess that's what you would call it, like a lounge area for, well, this is where I put the bar. And I use this swatch of some base game cabinets that I don't think I've ever used before. And I don't think I even knew that they had this swatch. Like, it's this, you can see it already. It's like this beige color. But it's kind of like, it has like a stony texture, which I had no clue that these cabinets came in that texture until I made this build. And honestly, I'm obsessed. I really like how that looks. And I like how this whole room turned out, actually. So we used these bar pieces from Oh, it's the Love Struck pack, and I had a lot of trouble actually figuring out which table I wanted to use. You don't see me struggle that much, but like in my head, I was like, I don't know what to do. But I think this is the one I ended up using. This like glass table from it's Get Famous, which I really like this table. I like a lot of the stuff actually from Get Famous in this. They have this like not millennial. This mid-century modern kind of vibe going on in some of the objects in there, and I really like that. Now here you see it. I go in with these arches, which I really wanted to use because they're like so perfect in my head for this, and they're literally mint colored. But I didn't end up using them. I did use them upstairs in Rose's bedroom, so at least I used them once, because I really wanted them to be used. It's so pretty outside right now, by the way, because it's been snowing like on and off for the last 2 weeks or something. And I mean, we got a lot more snow in like the capital area, like around where Copenhagen is. That's gotten a lot of snow. In fact, it's gotten so much that I'm pretty sure it's been like a bit of a problem. But for me, it hasn't been. It's just been lovely. And we got a lot today, and I just love looking out the window and seeing all the snow. I don't have a driver's license, so I feel like that kind of adds to my love for the snow, because I know a lot of people who do have driver's licenses. They don't love the snow because, they have to deal with it. They have to deal with going out in the snow and like shoveling their car out of the snow and like driving on these kind of dodgy roads. I don't have to deal with any of that. So I love the snow. I am moving into the kitchen in just a second, but I don't really want to talk about that right now, because I really want to talk about the fact that I've been playing so much Animal Crossing the last few days, actually the last few weeks, and I've been enjoying myself immensely. It's Animal Crossing New Horizons, to be specific, which is my first Animal Crossing game, and the latest, the current one. I haven't played before, so I'm one of those who started during the pandemic, and it's been one of my favorite games ever since. And I took like a long break for a while, but I started playing again, and I love it so much. I've started this like kind of like what I've done with Minecraft. If you've seen that on my channel, I've done like a forever world concept where I'm gonna try to stay on this world like as my main world forever, so I'm doing the same with Animal Crossing, where this is my forever island, because I tend like a lot of people on Animal Crossing, we do this thing where we go in and we make an island and then we move on to the next one. And I always miss my islands once I'm done. And I say I'm done. I've never completed an island before, not like fully. I just sort of lose interest and then I move on. I'm trying really hard not to do that. And just yesterday I was playing on this island, and I love it so much. And I had... On previous islands, I've had Bubbles, one of the villagers. She's been my first villager to move in after the initial 2 3 times already. Like, she's been the first I've had. So, like, Bubbles, she's my girl, I love her so much. She means everything to me. I love her. But I didn't know how long it would take me to get her on this island. She was the first one to move in on this island again, and I was so happy immediately. I was like, okay, yep, this is my forever island. I'm staying here always, and she's staying with me. I love her so much. That's my best friend. But yesterday, I went villager hunting, and I found Quinn, who is one of the sort of, what are they, like eagles? Are they eagles? Like the big bird type. Not the, actually there are 3 bird types and 2 of them are big. if you look up Quinn Animal Crossing, you'll know who it is. Uh, and I had her on one of my previous islands as well, and I really, really loved her. So seeing her was just like, oh my god, this is perfect. I had to get her immediately. She wasn't someone I was like really looking for, but then the moment I saw her, I was like, I need you on my island. I love you so much. So really happy with that. Anyway, we're now moving into this room outside the kitchen. Sorry I didn't talk about that at all. But we're moving into this room where I in my mind for a while I was struggling to figure out like what I wanted this room to be, because it's like so big and I didn't really feel like I needed any more rooms. But I ended up making it like a sauna room, and also like a bit of a bathroom. There's like multiple sections here. Struggled a lot with the layout of this, but ended up, I think I like how it ended up. Really, really loved having a sauna. I feel like that's so nice. And I feel like this is probably the bathroom that they use before or after going to the pool, which they have out in their backyard. I have never had a pool in my life. I've had on vacation, and you shower before that. I don't know if people who have pools like shower before they go in their own pool at home. I assume they do, because you're supposed to, right? But I don't know. Sims don't do it. Don't think they're gonna do it. But in my head, if this was real life, this is the bathroom they would use before heading out to the pool. Anyway, hi. So this is now the second time that it's been a while. The first time, I think it was like a week or two that went by where I was like, oh, okay, sorry, came back, didn't work for a while, I'm back now. Yet it was a bit more than a week this time. I started this recording at the beginning of February. I think it was February 12th that the Royalty and Legacy Pack came out, which I mentioned at the beginning of this video. Yeah, it's April now. Hopefully, by the time this video comes out, it's still April. I really, really hope so. If not, sorry. Okay, so I've been looking through my diary because I was like, what has even happened since last we spoke? Or since last I spoke, rather. I've got a lot of stuff that I'm like, okay, I could tell you about what's going on right now. But first off, I think I should talk about, I went through the entire voice recording of, like, until now, and listened to it. I don't know if I zoned out at some point, because I don't think I talked about Ray at all. Maybe I did. If I did, I'm sorry. I'm gonna talk about her again. She's my favorite singer. I love her a lot. Okay. I don't know exactly when the timeline makes sense, but all I know is that in the very beginning of February, I went to a Ray concert, which was amazing. I love her so much. It was so good. And I've just been waiting for her new album to come out ever since, because one of the songs, Click Clack Symphony, which luckily for me was one of the singles, so it came out a little before the album, I was obsessed with at the concert. I had the best time listening to that. And I didn't record. So I haven't been able to listen to it at all since the concert. So I've just had this song stuck in my mind that I didn't actually properly know because I'd only heard it one time. And it was the one song I didn't record anything from. Like all the other songs, I recorded at least a snippet just to like save it. But I got so into that song, I completely forgot to record. So, yeah, I've been very, very happy to be listening to that album. I mean, truly my new favorite album of all time. I'm not even kidding. It's so me, so my style. I love it so much. If you haven't heard it already, go and listen to it. It's so good. In other news, I've been watching a bunch of TV shows that really, I kind of realized I hadn't been watching a lot of shows in a long time for some reason. I don't know, I hadn't been in the mood. I'd watch a few movies and stuff, but I hadn't seen any shows really like since Well, basically since Bridgerton came out, the new season, I just haven't like been into watching a show the way I do, which is by completely hyper focusing and not thinking about anything else, which is me and my autism. We do that anyway. So the two shows I've been watching, because I've been watching two, is I started rewatching Once Upon a Time, because I think I saw like a clip of it on TikTok or something, and I got reminded of the show, and I was like, oh my god, I used to love that show. Realize now that I'm rewatching it, I'm like, I think I only ever watched like one, maybe two seasons. I know for a fact I didn't watch the third season, like, because I've been looking up some plots. I've been spoiled already, it's fine. I don't really care. I just know that I've never seen the third season. So I've never gotten further than season 2. I'm now, I'm like at the end of season 1, and I'm having the best time. The other show I've been watching is one I haven't seen before. Not even, well, actually, I was about to say like not even a bit of it. I have seen a whole lot of clips on TikTok, and they've like really, I every time I see it, I'm like, oh, I want to watch that show. But then I've been told like where you can see it, and I've never found anywhere that I have access to. However, I now found out they have it on Amazon Prime, which currently I do have access to. So I've been watching The Midwife. Called The Midwife is what it's called, which is based on a book by of the same name by Jennifer something. Oh, I forgot her name. Oh no. You can look it up, please. It's a really good show. I'm having a blast so far. Well, I say I'm having a blast. I'm having a good time. I have cried a lot, though, so I don't know if a blast is really the right way to describe my experience. I just finished watching season 3. Yeah, season 3. I've been told there are like 15 seasons or something of this show. Only 4 of them are available to watch on Amazon Prime, at least in my country. I don't know if it's different elsewhere, but for me, I can only watch the first 4, which honestly I think I'm gonna be okay with, simply because I really, really liked a character which left in this season. Another thing I've been doing is I've been baking a whole lot of cake. Well, I say a whole lot comparatively to before, because I hadn't baked a cake in, I think, literal years before this. But in the last like 2 months, I've baked 3 or 4 cakes. All of them the same kind, the exact same cake. I've become obsessed with this cake. It's a chocolate cake, kind of brownie-ish. I don't know what's the difference between a chocolate cake and a brownie. I don't know the actual definition. Like if I taste the two, I feel like I know the difference. But the thing is, this chocolate cake is described in the recipe, which is so easy, which is why I've made it so many times by now. It's described as being a chocolate cake, but every time I make it, I'm like, this is a brownie. So I should probably look up what the difference is, because clearly I'm wrong. Okay, so first of all, I said I'd been making the exact same cake each time. That's a lie. I changed it up pretty much every time. But I think that's why I love this cake so much, is because, baking is chemistry. Baking is an art, and it's an art I haven't mastered. It's a lot of with a lot of baking, you have to be very precise with certain things, because if you aren't, something is just gonna go wrong. And so I've been a little bit scared off of baking, because like one of these things that I loved to bake as a kid, I don't know what happened, but I don't know how to bake it anymore. Like, I know all the ingredients, but somehow, I don't know, I lost my touch. The last, 4 times I've tried to make it, it just did not turn out well. I'm not a baker. I'm a cook, okay? Between those two, I cook. Anyway, I just looked it up. So, The difference between a chocolate cake, and a brownie is most of all the density of it. So chocolate cake is much more light and airy and fluffy, while a brownie is much more dense. So what I've discovered is I've been making brownies. I don't know why the recipe called it a cake. It is not. It's very much a brownie. Like I don't put anything in to make it rise or anything, which confuses me each time I do it. I'm like, why is this not necessary? It's not, because it's a brownie. I know now. So yeah, I've been making brownies. They're really good. I love them a lot. I should go get some right now. I have some in the fridge actually. I made some was it yesterday? Yeah, I made some yesterday because my dad came by. We just got a new oven, new stove. In English, when you want to talk about like all of it, the stovetop, the oven, the whole thing, is it just stove, or can you say oven, or what's the deal with that, huh? I don't know. Anyway, we got a new one of those. And because the old one was very broken and ants had infested it. So I kind of needed a new one. And so as a thank you to my dad for coming by and fixing that, I made us cake the moment it was installed, and that was really lovely. Okay, I've had some cake now, and I feel like it's probably time for me to go back to talking a little bit about the actual house that I'm making, because I haven't done that in a while. Anyway, this is probably one of my favorite rooms in the entire house. I really, really like how that turned out. I've got this like, I don't know, it's not quite pink. What's that called? What's it called? Salmon? Kind of, yeah, like a salmon color. I think that's how I'm gonna describe it. Which has this like bar area, a sofa with a few chairs and a dance floor. And this dance floor, I realized like when I was doing this room, and I was like, oh, I have so much, like I have too much space in this house, right? And I was like, what's something big I can use? And then I realized, oh my god, Freya loves to dance. She needs a dance floor, because you can't just you can't just dance in The Sims. Well, you kind of can, but it's not. You're gonna have a lot more fun as a sim dancing if it's on a dance floor. So I gave her one, and I really like how it turned out. Also, it's so funny, when I was listening to the audio I recorded before I started like recording again, I listened to that, and I was talking about how there was snow outside, which I loved because I love the snow. And now I'm just looking outside, and I'm like, it is fully spring at this point. The flowers are in full bloom. Basically, the weather lately is what I like to describe as birthday weather, which I talked to my younger brother about this the other day, because he was home, and we were talking about how the weather was so nice, and I was like, yeah, it's reminding me of birthday weather. And he was like, what do you mean by that? I mean, I think I get what you mean, because he actually kind of agreed. But then at the same time, he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, well, listen, my birthday is this month. So to me, this exact type of weather, I can't even like describe it. It's just, spring weather, right? This exact type of weather is how I think of the weather when I think birthday, It's birthday weather. To be fair, okay, my birthday is at the end of April. I've had snow on my birthday before. Only once, I think. Maybe twice. But I don't know. I don't remember when I was a baby, obviously. Which is why I'm saying maybe twice. It could have happened when I was a baby. But I remember having snow on my birthday and being like, this is crazy. This is wild. This shouldn't be happening. But it did. And you know what? I wasn't mad about it, because I love the snow. So I felt like I'd been a really good girl that year. I don't know. Is this a thing in other countries where people are like, the weather is based on the behavior the past year of the person whose birthday it is that day? Is that a thing? anywhere else. I'm saying in this country, but then I'm like, I don't recall hearing others talk about it a lot. I know we do it in my family. It's just a fun little thing where we're like, oh, you've been so nice this year because we have sunny weather, or whenever I have like a thunderstorm on my birthday, people are like, well, usually that would mean you'd been bad this year, but I know you love thunder, so happy birthday. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Also, I'm finally moving into the. I was about to call it the living room, but I don't really know if I should call it that, because we have a living room downstairs as well. But to be fair, I've been calling that the gaming room in my head, which is like, they play board games, they play games on the TV, that kind of thing. It's the game room. That's it's the game room. Whereas this one, it's there's a little library kind of section with a bunch of sofas and chairs and stuff. So I think maybe that's what I'll describe as the living room. I don't know. Anyway, I'm decorating that, as you can see, and I actually really, really like how this turned out. To be fair, I like how most of this house turned out, I think. I mean, it's very simplistic. There's not a lot of stuff. But that's kind of just my build style. Like, I was talking to my best friend about this because when she decorates interiors, which she does a lot, she plays a lot of Sims. She's played way more than I have. I mean, genuinely ridiculous amount of time in this game. And we were talking about how when she decorates, it's very, very different from when I decorate. Because she is very maximalist in her style of decorating. And so in comparison to her, I'm definitely minimalistic in the way I decorate. Which is funny because when I look at my stuff, I'm not like, that's minimalistic. Though, I mean, this house is more than sometimes when I build, because it's just the actual style of the house, like a modern style just goes more with a minimalist style, But yeah, when she decorates, there's not a single place in the place. There's not a single place in the place that isn't covered by something. There's posters and paintings and stuff everywhere on the walls. There is stuff on the floor. There's stuff everywhere. I mean, I'm amazed that she gets to have her Sims actually walk around in the space she makes. Because she doesn't make a space. That's pretty much it. There's no space. Oh, and now we're going into the gaming room that I was just talking about, which I really like how this one turned out as well. I like how this whole house turned out. That's such a nice feeling. just to be like, hey, look at this thing I made. I actually like it. That's not something I can always say. Like, sometimes when I come back to a build I've made, I'm like, what was I thinking? What did I make here? But this time I'm actually really proud. That does happen on occasion where also, like, I'll go back on my gallery and just see what I've made before, and I'll be reminded of a build I've made where I'm like, I barely remember building this, but this is cool. Like, this turned out well. So I think, this one I'm definitely gonna be remembering building this because I've done this whole voiceover and edited the video of it. But I have a feeling I'm gonna look back on this and be like, yeah, this is cool. I like this. Anyway, we're getting towards the end of this video, or rather the end of the speed build part of this video, because pretty soon I'm gonna jump back into the game and I'm just gonna show you around the house and actually talk about it instead of doing what I've been doing, which is just talking about random nonsense, which I'm thinking about now, and I'm like, maybe I should just play some music halfway through this. I didn't have to do the voiceover the entire time. A lot of people don't. But yeah, I'm still learning. Maybe I want to keep doing this. Maybe I don't. We'll see. We'll see what I do in the future. Anyway, here we go. It's time for non-voiceover bloom. I built the house in Newcrest. I've placed down some lots that I've built previously. I think I still need to fill out the world a bit more though before I feel like they can like live in the area and it'll be fun. So I built it at the Twin Oracle Point. It's a 50 by 40 lot, and it cost 277,639 simoleons, which is not as expensive as I thought it might be, but it is still a long way. Like, they still have a long way before they can afford this lot. Anyway, let's head to the house and then I'll show you around. So this is how it looks from the outside, just like this. I quite like how that turned out. Let's head in from the front door though. So this is the entryway. We have a little closet. We have a treadmill with some art above it. This in here is like the lounge and dining room area. So if you enter through here, you get to, there's stairs to upstairs. And then if we go through here, we get to the kitchen, which is quite nice. I put the most Minty little magnets I could find, I put on there. And all of them actually fit quite nicely with the story because we have, we have the Stellar spaceship magnet, which Penny, of course, has been abducted by aliens multiple times, so that fits quite well. Then we have the Oasis Springs magnet for the dinosaur that we see at the back there. And, of course, Penny started her journey in Oasis Spring. That's where she lived to begin with, so we've got another little nod to that. And then, of course, we have the Mount Komorebi magnet, which is where they spent their last vacation. So I think that's very nice. Anyway, we have a very nice look out onto the front yard. We have a pantry over here. I'll get to that. And then this is the kitchen. So we have a sink over here and 2 fridges because this is a mansion that felt rich people like to me. Anyway, so this is the pantry. I played around a lot with curved walls. It was kind of hard figuring out what I wanted in the different places, but this is what we came up with. We have a pantry with a bunch of different appliances that we can use. Then, if we go, instead of going back through here, you might as well go through this door right here, which will lead us to this little bar area. So we have a bar from the Lovestruck pack, just a small dining table to hang out. Through here, we have a sort of bathroom area. We have a sink and we have a toilet and a shower. And then over here, we also have a shower tub combo, but here we have a sauna area. Oh, and I also did not realize I did not put this away. We then go back through here and we enter into what is the main dining room. Here we have a look out onto the lounge area outside, which leads to the pool. I'll show you that as well. And here we are again at the entrance. And here we have the sort of family play area, I think. We have some games over here. We'll definitely have some family pictures up here. And then we can play some games on the TV. This is where we have the TV. We actually only have one TV in this whole house, which, considering the size of the house, is unlike what I would usually do, but and we have a chess set out here. If we go over here, the other side of this fireplace, we get into a little hallway where by the end here, we get into the laundry room. So this is the laundry room. We just have some glitching shelves. We just have a bunch of laundry baskets and a washing machine and a dryer, and some shelves and stuff. That's all we got in here. And then back out into the hallway, if we go through this door, we get into what is basically like a rec room, because it's a mix of Penny's science stuff as well as Freya's fitness stuff. I, of course, also put the treadmill out in the hallway, but I really like the idea of these two like hanging out together, doing things they love. And then through here, depending on what door you go through, in here we have just a toilet and a sink with a mirror and stuff. And then through the other door over here, we have a little shower room, which is kind of perfect for when Penny is done no, when Freya's done doing her fitness. And then we got a view of the city over here, which is very nice. Then before we head upstairs, I think we should head outside. So out here we have some lounge chairs. Let's turning to the morning. There we go. We have some lounge chairs, also minty colored. And we have this pool out here with some floats and a diving board. And then this way we have this sculpture kind of thing and just a path to the front of the house. Now if we head back through here and upstairs, we get to the main staircase, the only staircase actually. And we have this beautiful, beautiful ceiling lamp, I think. I really, really love this. And up here we have a little office space, kind of desk area, with some paintings and a fireplace. And this area actually I think took me the longest to figure out the layout of. We have this little another lounge area. We have a lot of lounge areas with some books and a little reading nook over here with a look to the outside where we have some planter boxes and a game table. This took me so long to figure out. For the longest time I had these, the sofas and stuff, I had them placed over here. And that made it so that all of this space was not used for anything. And this desk did not fill up enough space. So finally I figured, oh, right, we can just move them around. And everything started to make sense. So I was very happy with that decision. We have this little outdoor space, nothing special, but it's very nice. And then we get over here where we have a guest room. There's a lot of personality in here for it being a guest room, but I really love these, the pastel pop kit. I really love the pastel pop kit, and I knew there was some really nice minty colors in here, and I felt like I had to use them. So this is a very personality-filled guest room. And through here there's even a little bathroom connected with same amount of personality, I'd say. And then if we head back through here and through this door, we get to Rose's bedroom. This is for, of course, when she becomes a teenager. It's actually a lot more pink than her current child bedroom, which is interesting because her main color is like a rosy red, sort of like the carpet and the hair on this painting. But I really love the mix of mint and pink. So I felt like until she moves out and becomes a young adult and stuff, I felt like this was an appropriate amount of reds mixed in. So we have this little vanity nook, which I really love, and these 4 closets where she can put all her clothes, of course. And over here we have a sort of study area where she can do all her homework, and a nice little sofa and a full-length mirror, which also she could sit here in front of and do her makeup if she wanted. And then, of course, we also got a ensuite bathroom for here. And I really like this one, actually. I really like how this one turned out. Now, if we head back through this way, we get to this hallway, the main hallway, where we have a robot creation station, as well as another area for some family photos. And I think we'll probably put the urns up here for our pets as well. They're standing in a similar place in our current house, and I think that's quite nice, actually. And then we get some planters out here, and that's really all there's out here. Then we go through here. We can see this area, which is also yet another sort of lounge room, lounge and rec room. We get a little keyboard and some ping pong, a dance mat, because I really felt like Freya deserved to be able to dance. She really loves to dance. And just a tiny bar area. And then over here we have yet another bathroom, which I actually quite like how this one turned out. And I just realized we're missing a radio of some kind, so she actually can dance. Let's see. Maybe we do a big one, like over here. Ooh, this one. I love this one. Do we have any that would match? We do. We have this one. I quite like that. And then we can head through here. We have another bathroom, just a small one, with everything you need in a bathroom. And then through here we have the master bedroom where we have a little desk area again, another dresser, and through here we have this nice little just hangout nook, and a place for, specifically I was thinking Freya, but of course Penny can also use it if she wants, like waking up in the morning and doing some yoga is kind of what I was thinking of. And then of course the bed. Let's see if we return it to nighttime. You can see everything a bit better actually. Did I miss anything? I don't think I did. No, I think that was everything. It's only 2 stories. It felt quite large though, and I couldn't think of any more things to put in here, so large house, but not that many rooms. So I really hope you like it. I certainly do, and I'm very, very excited for Penny and her family to move in here, and that will happen as soon as we have the money for it, which of course will take a little while considering the cost of the place. I will be uploading this to the gallery. I've called it the Minty Mansion. My gallery ID is at Celia Ravens. That's CeliaRavens. Celia Ravens. That's where you can find all of my builds, including this newest one, which is the Minty Mansion. I also have a bunch of other stuff, including the Mint Starter House, which I uploaded. And I believe... Oh, I don't think I actually did ever upload the house they're currently living in. I'll have to fix that. Look at who I just found. This is from 2022, which was the second time I ever tried to complete this challenge. I never got past this generation. Yeah, oh my god, that's so fun. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I see you next time. I hope you liked the build and you liked the video. If you did, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. And until next time, bye!